Hello campers, my name is John Penney and I work at 20th Century Fox in business development and strategy, and I'm speaking to you from sunny Southern California, and I'm shooting this on an iPhone 10, hoping to give you some information and thoughts around the emerging worlds of short form video, VR, AR, and new types of storytelling that you may have heard about or even be exploring in your camp. You have my sincere congratulations on producing your first works of art, video, and more. Take care, and here we go. I like to think of strategy as coming up with ideas and processes and tactics to manage change and make new outcomes happen and hopefully benefit large groups of people at the same time. Often you start with a specific strategy and it changes dynamically. You may have had that idea where you start thinking about a project for school and you're going to write a paper and you're going to pursue a specific angle, and then you take another strategic or strategy approach. But when we talk about strategy in television, we think of two things: how we're going to have a strategy to make our TV channel or our show interesting and engaging for consumers. And the second piece of it that's really important to consider is, what's your strategy for making a business out of your content? Companies exist not just to make great shows, but they exist to make money as well, to pay the people who work for them. You need a strategy to figure out how to build a business, what platforms the content may be on, where you're going to sell it around the world. Try and think about new technologies like the phone and the tablet, which are only 10 years old. It's amazing. Try and think about how content creators that want to create new revenue streams and sell new types of engaging experiences, think about those things and how to make them concrete and real, whether you're in the United States or around the world, in Europe, in the Middle East, in Southeast Asia, Japan, India, in Latin America. I am an evangelist, someone who goes out there and tries to get you excited about ideas and hopefully have you contribute to making those ideas better by using strategies to help build new, wonderful ways to interact with content and technology. That's what I call being an innovation analyst. Those are innovative things, and we go out there and we try and get people excited about them. Kids are 35% of the planet today. People probably under the age of 18, 17, 16. That's a huge number of people. There's 7 billion people in the world. 3 times 7 is 21. I'll do the math. That's over 2 billion kids in the world. That's the future. And that's how the world ends up changing and becoming hopefully a better place. Many of them have smartphones. They're in Europe. They're also in emerging markets like in Southeast Asia and even Africa. These smartphones are on mobile networks and platforms that all have YouTube and other types of content, Facebook and the like. Kids around the world are now absolutely, as a generation, looking at YouTube. They may not all be watching the same things. They may be watching very exciting local content on YouTube. YouTube is probably the most significant children's viewing environment on the globe today. Think what kids like in all different languages that you might have liked when you were younger, or even now. I still enjoy them, as animation and cartoons. Very appealing because they're the movement and the way the characters look, whether it's hand-drawn or in 3D animation. Kids of all ages, they might say, like animation. And another thing kids around the world are watching, especially with the smartphone and the tablet, is sports. Soccer is the most popular sport in the world, but other sports that may be more local, like curling in Canada, you can ask somebody what that is, or in Latin America, it might be field hockey. So those are the areas: YouTube, children's animation, dramas for kids as well, comedies for kids, and animation. So feel like you're part of a global community, and you can also create for that community because you are a global citizen with these new cameras that you have in your phone and your ability to put your content up onto YouTube and other platforms. Go for it. I want you to know a little bit about the creativity that you have between your ears. It comes with you. It's human creativity. Build things, design things, interact with people in unique ways, teach other people, love other people, all of the amazing range of human emotions are all tied to our creativity. Whatever you have in your mind, you now have the tools within the phone that in the years past were very expensive and only a few people could use them or have them. You now have the power to tell your story and actually change the world. Your story may be about a documentary about something in your community needing change. It could be about travel, food, sports, or something even funny that, changes the way individuals see something, a person, or a place. But I just want you to know you have the power in your hands to change the entire world. And that is not only through entertainment and creating stories, but through how you teach others, how you'll influence politics. Don't forget you have that creativity in you. And if you ever find someone who feels like they don't respect that, just know inside that John and all the other adults who are with you on this journey in life know that you actually have it, and keep pushing on and trying to get your message out there about the things you're excited about. No matter how small or big, it's really an important thing to be able to communicate your creativity to others. For about 80% of the history of television, we have paid for television. You may have wondered how we pay for it, either by watching it and seeing ads or promotions. We also pay for TV when we buy a cable service or a subscription, maybe to HBO, Showtime, or Stars, or a new product like a digital product that you can watch on your tablet. Someone is willing to pay to put a message in front of you. And this has become something far more targeted and far more individualized with the internet, since we know a lot more about what you're watching when you're watching things on your phone. That may sound scary. The truth is that it can deliver you very much more personalized and likable content. The shows and movies that you've all watched for so long have been a wholesale business. TV and movie studios sell their products to TV networks and sell them to movie theaters, which then sell them to you, either through you're buying a ticket or you're watching them and putting advertising in front of you. Now individuals can sell directly to you. So you can go on YouTube and find an influencer or somebody you like, and they can be actually showing video directly to you without a network around it. Any one of you could take the movies that you're making in this camp and upload them to YouTube. When you can get directly to the consumer yourself, a retail transaction. So much of media today focused on moving from that wholesale model to the direct-to-consumer or retail model, because there's a lot of things that can be done when you can talk directly to the consumer, like know what they like on the show, and in that way you can hopefully create more value. Short-form video is a relatively new form. We've all seen TV shows that are either a half hour, an hour long, or movies that are an hour and a half to 2 hours long, or even more. But with the rise of digital communications and digital cameras, people are now creating short segment videos that tell a story, maybe are a small vignette of their life, could be something silly for YouTube, but in the range of 1 minute to maybe 3 to 5 minutes, 10 minutes or more. Always thought of as a small chunk of time, not as a complete show or a movie. You may have heard of mobile video or mobile content, and in some ways this is related to short form video. Most of the time, short form and mobile video are 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 10-minute segment. When it's mobile, it's on a phone. When it's shot on a phone, it has a different look, sometimes a different sound as well than what would be shot on a camera. Mobile is about the device, and often in the world that it's shot in, it's out and about, and the notion of short form is more about the length of the content. I bet some of you watch shows on your iPads or on television. Maybe you use an Apple TV or you use a Netflix account. Maybe your parents have a cable system connected to a digital video recording box. But you might wonder, how do the shows that we watch on television get on TV, and who decides how they get there? It's a long process, and it's one that goes back many to the 1950s of the last century. TV networks and at movie studios would come up with ideas for shows, put together samples of them, look at those samples and think which ones would appeal most to audiences. Some shows might be comedies, others might be drama, creating a scheduling wheel. Now that means at certain points in time during the day, people are thinking about what type of shows would be fun to have. But this is changing these days with the computers that we all use that are either in our phones or on a desktop or in our TV or in an Apple TV box. There's a feedback loop that lets the TV production companies and the networks and the technology companies know what you're watching and how long you're spending time watching it, and whether you're skipping forward or raising the volume or lowering the volume, all sorts of things that they now know that in the old days when TV was just broadcast like a radio signal over the air, they didn't know. So now people are using feedback and mechanisms of looking at what consumers are actually watching to help think about how they program TV shows, which ones will be created, what storylines even, and what genres and categories, drama, action, comedy. So it's changing a lot, and now it's people and machines working together to figure out what gets put on the TV screens that are in your lives. You may have heard of virtual reality, which is where you put on a set of goggles and you're transported to a different place. You will see in these goggles, worlds constructed, fantastic creatures, games, and the like. And that's an exciting possibility. There's a lot that can be done with that to entertain you in new ways and new worlds that you can explore in 360 and move around, but also because it can be used in ways that might be very helpful to learn. For example, taking a chemistry course and looking at molecules right in front of your eyes. They're actually interacting and why they interact the way they do. Virtual reality, a very powerful technology that many people out here in Hollywood are experimenting with. You may have heard of two new exciting technologies, augmented reality and virtual reality. One, augmented reality, you can have digital data projected onto your view of the world, like wearing a pair of glasses at a sporting event and seeing stats about your favorite players, or if you're watching a show on TV and you had glasses that you could see the TV set and you could have more information about the characters, the actors, and the like presented to you on the glasses that you're wearing. As we start to use media more out of the home and in other environments, it'll be helpful to have additional information, augmentation of the information that we already have, like maps, people's names, other sorts of data around the weather and the like. You may be wearing glasses that allow you to see the world with a lot more information, take it in, and become a more effective participant in the world around you.